Thank you very much, Mrs. Balogu. Let us say a very warm welcome to everybody here. I was also going to say a warm welcome to my co-speakers, but everybody's busy, they've all gone, but please communicate that to them. And I want to congratulate Mrs. Balogu and her team for this conference. It takes a lot to organize things like this, especially when there is no direct and immediate commercial or financial benefit from it. I've been here for about 1.5 hours, and I've learned a lot from the speakers. I was writing down, putting down some ideas as they spoke, which I'm going to actually implement in my own business. And you'll see that I have my notepad here and my pen because I also intend to learn from you. I wish I had the privilege that a lot of you have today, the privilege of the internet, the privilege of having people to speak to you like this. I think the theme of this conference is continuous improvement. Well, I've been running businesses for 30 years. It's made 30 years this year. And I have, okay, you won't clap too much when I'm finished, don't worry. I've experienced continuous improvement, discontinued improvement, and sometimes even absolute reversal, because I didn't have the benefits of what you have today. So people have talked to you a lot about continuous improvement. I wasn't here for the earlier speakers, but I'm sure even you've read up in a lot of things, you've got all the technical jargon. Those of you who have bothered to read before you came to the conference, you hear about Kaizen, you hear about so many terms. But I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to go that way. I want to go to the core of continuous improvement. I want to strip off the flesh of ideas and planning. I want to get to the bone of purpose, to the core of what continuous improvement is. For us to do that, there are 3 key questions that we need to address. It will be good for you to take notes, but if you are like Mr. Balogu, you can take everything in your brain and write it down when you get home again. I am not. But there are 3 key things when we talk about continuous improvement. For us to be able to get to the core of what we're talking about. The first thing is this: what is the objective of continuous improvement? What is the objective? In life, everything must have an objective to give it meaning. The second thing is, what is the duration? I.e., is this something that stops at some point, at some space in your life where there is no need for improvement? And the third thing is, who is the judge of that continuous improvement process? I.e., that there has actually been continuous improvement. So I'll ask you, because we're learning from each other today, what is the purpose of continuous improvement? What is the purpose? I like the gentleman there with the khaki trousers and the sneakers. What is your name, sir? You're wearing a blue jacket just like me. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. What is the purpose? What do you think is the purpose of continuous improvement from your own view? You are very careful when I talk. Listen, please, because I'll call on you at any point in time. And you don't want to be found that when you call you and say what, and you say something that's totally irrelevant to what we're talking about here. So for me, what is your idea? What is the purpose of continuous improvement?
Thank you very much. My name is Christian.
Sorry, let me stop you there. Nobody should thank me for asking them a question. Nobody should say anything they're not supposed to say. Just go straight to the point. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, my objective is to achieve success.
Achieve success, okay. Right, thank you. I'm going to ask a lady. I ask a lady who is sitting right in front of me in the black dress. What is the objective of continuous improvement, in your view?
My objective of continuous improvement is a life. Change is the constant thing. So if you're starting, you won't be able to achieve what the objective you have.
Okay, but what is the objective? You have to answer my question. Okay. Change is not an objective in itself. What is the objective of continuous improvement?
Okay, the objective of continuous improvement is by moving beyond the normal process.
No, that is a process. That is a process. You can sit down. Now, please know that this objective is yours, not mine. I'm asking you for your own definition. I want to choose the person who is seated farthest in the back. If you are the last man, I mean, on your road, there's nobody except you. There's nobody except you on your road. Is there anybody like that right at the back? Okay, anybody in the last row? The lady who put up her hand right at the back there with her hand up, you start off first. You over there. What is the objective of continuous improvement?
To add value to yourself and to your environment.
To add value to yourself and your environment. Okay, thank you very much. We'll take one last one. And we'll take from the middle. Okay, there's a gentleman there who seems very enthusiastic. What is the objective of continuous improvement? Breakthrough. To where? When you break through, you are going somewhere. Breakthrough is an objective. I want one more. I want something very articulate that will get everybody standing and clapping. Let me choose. Let me say, I look at your hand to see whether you can give me something online. Just wave your hand in the air. I will see with the vigor with which you wave your hand whether you can actually. This my hand. With the waistcoat and the picture. Okay, go ahead. You know that you see, you have not seizing the moment. Go ahead. Clap for the man. Seize the man. Okay, what is the objective?
To keep abreast of goings on and to remain relevant in every sphere I find myself.
Okay, not bad. But we'll still give this man a chance because he waved his hand vigorously before we move on. Last one, the objective of continuous improvement.
To change with change and stay ahead of competition.
Okay, to change with change. You can accept that. But that will not give you a distinction from King's College. But what you have not said is common. One thing. The objective of continuous improvement is success. It's success. Whether you're adding value to yourself, adding value to something, somebody hit it right on the head when he says, it's success. It's success. You want success, your parents want success for you, everybody likes success. You know, so the objective of continuous improvement is success. I want you to take that and put that in your pocket. What is the duration for continuous improvement? Most of you here are probably from your teens to maybe your early 30s. I'm not even sure that they're in the early 30s here. But how long do we continue this process of continuous improvement? I.e., knowing that the objective itself is success. Are you with me? Knowing that the objective is success, how long do we continue this process in your life, all throughout your life? Is anybody willing to venture an idea? When do you stop? When you raise up your hand when you are talking, you have to raise up your hand with conviction. This for me is not a hand raise. You know, when you want to raise up your hand, you raise up your hand. The gentleman has seized the mic. Mr. Akinyinka, we are not going to allow people to be seizing the mic. I see some very, very strong men here, but go ahead, please.
It's a lifetime process.
It's a lifetime process. So as you are in 1980, you are still improving. Okay. We'll take one more. We're just going to take one more. One more. I want the lady in the multicolored. Sorry, madam. Sorry, I'm going to take it away from you. I'll come back to you. But the lady over there, because she wasn't looking interested. Behind you, sir. In the floral dress. Thank you very much. What is the duration?
Praise the Lord. Continuous improvement should be for as long as we live.
For as long as we live?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're going to come back to the issue that success is the objective of continuous improvement. And some people say as long as we live, and on and on and on. But do you realize that what you determine as success changes at every phase of your life? You realize that? Because a lot of people fail to realize this, and because of that, they experience so much heartache. So we put in our pocket that success is the objective for continuous improvement, and we have put in our mind also that that success, that destination, it changes. You cannot say that, for example, at a point in my life when I was maybe about 20, success for me was to meet a very beautiful woman, nice, homely, warm, and get married. I did that when I was 29. But for some people, continual improvement will be in 10 years take another wife to join on top. It's continual. But the pathway needs to change. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now that may be funny, but it's actually very serious. Let me give you another example. You are 50, you are successful, you have vehicles, you have houses, you have money, and you're investing in businesses, and at 70 they're bringing businesses to you, you're investing, you're a shareholder, and at 85 you go to Lekki, there's one land, and you borrow money to build 50 skyscrapers as 85, so you acquire more and more property. You have missed it along the line somewhere. You are successful, you are wealthy, you are getting more and more wealthy, but at that point in your life, really, if you sat back to look, your objective will be, oh, I want to adopt everybody in tiebreakers because I have $1 billion. I want to give everybody $5 million to set up their businesses. It's a definition of success. So the problem is that too many times we allow people to determine what is success for us, or too many times we get fixated on what society says is success, and we continue chasing things that do not give us any satisfaction at the end of the day. So the first thing I'd like to leave you with again, we'll go back and we say the objective is success. It is a lifetime process, but the definition of success changes through every phase of your life. The third issue here, who is the judge of this success, continuous improvement? Who is the judge? Yes, sir. Okay, he says it's determined by you yourself and your environment. You yourself and your environment. I find a contradiction there. I'll take one more. The lady who wanted to speak over here, wearing the dress. You know what? If you are going to be successful,
look, I can talk to you without a microphone. That is what successful should be able to do. Your voice should carry. Stand up, speak out. So before the microphone gets to you, if you're in a hurry, stand up and talk. We're going to identify leaders here.
Well, since we have the microphone, please go ahead and use it. Yes. Who is the determinant of success?
I think we have some factors that is a determinant for one to say that this is what I want to do. Because at some point in time, you might decide that this is what I want to do. And you realize along the line, maybe you meet one or two people and they are trying to tell you that it's not
Off-key. I want some young lady out here. When somebody is going off-key, I want some young lady like this. I'm going to just sit down. Right? I say, who is the determinant of success? Who is the determinant of success?
You yourself, when you're fulfilled.
Thank you, I can hear that voice. Madam. Society. Okay, I'm not going to take too much, but the minute you let society determine that you are successful or not, that's the minute you have failed. That is the minute that you have failed. So, I think most people have hit it on the head. It is you yourself. When you look at the three things that we have looked at here, what the objective of continuous improvement is, we looked at the duration of continuous improvement, we see who judges continuous improvement. There's a central theme that we realize. It begins and it ends with you. Let anybody begin to tell you anything different. You are the core of the continuous improvement process. Before we go any further, because I'm getting to the meat of what I want to say now. There are two kinds of people in this world. In those two categories, there are many variants, but there are only two types, as far as I'm concerned. There are people who have that entrepreneurial mind, that spirit of can do, who go out and get it. There are some people who are just followers, they are workers, and they do their job well. You see, the latter category will start where you have started, they will get a job, they become officer, senior officer, supervisor, deputy manager, assistant. They will continue. In 25 years, you will see them as an MD of an organization. That's fine. If you are belonging to that group of people, many speakers have spoken. And all I have to impart to you, I'm giving you, so you may leave at this point. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. There are many people in the world that are like that. Many people. But those people have been spoken to by the people who got distinction in King's College. And people who really gave you a lot of technical things. So if you have that ilk, you will need to depart because you'll be wasting your time from this point. But then there's another group of people, like I said, who are those people. They have what I call fire in their belly. Not people that you ask them, they say, raise up your hand and they do this. No. If you have done that, go. I know you. If you don't go, I'm going to drive you out myself. So these are the people that I'm talking to. You see, I believe people who do a lot of training, like Mrs. Balu, they may not agree. I believe that no matter what you feed a pussycat, give it meat, give it vitamins, give it injection, everything, it will never become a lion. You can give it all the Mr. Big, anything you want in this world. That pussycat, they are from the same family. So when we did biology and all that, I think they have some similarities. But a pussycat is never ever going to become a lion. There are many, many words that continue to ring in my mind for the people that I want to talk to now. I'm still reserving some until the people we don't want to have gone. You know, it says, if you say that you are beaten, then you are. If you think you can't, then certainly you won't. I can't remember who wrote this, but I remember a very, very long time ago, one of these old English writers, I think that was 102 years ago, so he said, I bargained with life for a penny. I don't remember the exact words, so I'm just going to give you a general thing. I bargained with life for a penny. And as the evening wore on, I decided to ask for a raise. And then I bargained with life for 2 pennies. And I was content and I gave God praise. But as I ended my life's journey, and I look back and I realized that whatever I had demanded of life, life really would have paid. Many of you are bargaining with life for a penny and 2 pennies. Not realizing that life is there for it. It's open for you to take everything. Whatever you had demanded of life, you would have gotten. But we're all bargaining for 1 penny, we're all bargaining for 2 pennies there. Have the pussycats gone out yet? Some, okay. I will assume that they have gone out. So what does it take to be successful? What does it take to be successful? We have determined that success is the objective. We have determined that success continually changes. We have decided that we are the people who determine what success is. So what does it take to be successful? Because I believe that that's why we're all here. The very first thing, and I ask you to write again. Because when you write, you can go back to these things and give it your own interpretation from your own experiences of life before and also in the future. What does it take to be successful? First of all, you have to believe in yourself. You see, a lot of people here don't really believe in themselves. And honestly, it's a shame because God believes in you. So if it was possible to waste God's time, I would say you're wasting God's time. But you know, as they say, it is like 1,000 years, 1,000 years, like God is timeless. So you can't waste time. But really, God believes in you. And you have to start believing in yourself. You go to a lot of people that you see them at prayer meetings, or maybe they are ill, and say, hi, oh, I'm fine, I'm very well, I'm healthy. You know, they say all those buzzwords, but they don't believe it really. You know, so they're still ill. You have to believe in yourself. We've seen all the scriptures. A lot of people don't really take them to heart. There's nothing that is written in God's word that is just there for sure. Simple things that we say all the time, like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, this. When you say those things, you have to believe them. Look at all the great men. There are some men I really admire in the Bible. I remember a passage. This Bible, maybe you remind me. There was a gentleman who was confronted with the situation, and he said, the phrase is so powerful. He said, I set my face like flint. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Isaiah 57.
Oh, God bless you. Can you finish that scripture?
I've set my face like flint, and I believe the Lord is going to help me.
No, I don't think that's it, but you are close. It's okay. You're a pastor in the making. But I set my face like flint. Do you know what flint is?
Stone.
Flint is a stone. It is such a hard stone that it was a stone that was always taken into battle to make spears and that kind of thing. So when you say, I set my face like flint, it is the advanced version of what you mean lekoko. What you mean lekoko is junior to setting your face like flint. You see people like David, when he confronted Goliath, he believed himself. You know, it was enough for David to go there with a sling and a stone and just fight and kill the man. It was more than enough. But he had to even provoke him to show his confidence. He said, who art thou? You are circumcised Philistine. Who art thou? You know, it's a big abuse in those days. We take it for granted here. Who are you? You are circumcised Philistine. the confidence that he had, the need that he really had to believe in yourself. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life because I think that's what Ms. Baloni likes. She makes fun of me a lot of the times. And I've always believed in myself, even against all odds. I've done a lot of things in my life. Most of the interesting things I did between ages when I was 21 to maybe around 31. And I'll regale you with one or two of them. I remember I had an idea then to bring some kind of entertainment center to Ikeja GRA as in John Street at the time. I wanted a mini zoo because there was no zoo in Lagos. I grew up in Ibadan. There was a zoo. There was not like this Lagos, there were just stone and concrete. Did anybody grow up in Ibadan here? I know you grew up or somewhere like that. Lagos is a very harsh place. If you grew up in Lagos, you have not had the full benefit of a childhood. Do you agree? No, I have some those. Anyway, I said I was going to put together this thing. It was a zoo. I had a concept. I wrote all the animals that would be there. I'm going to have an entertainment area there, this, that, the other. I had no money. And this one thing I want to tell you people, do not start with money as the objective, as the determining factor to what you do. I'll tell you a secret. If you have an idea and you believe it, you believe and you believe in your heart, in your heart, in your heart, God makes different things to continue to align that what you need to achieve that idea will come to you. I'm telling you, this is the fact, write it down, take that confidence. If you say, look, I'm going to start making shoes in 1 month's time, start looking at all the designs of shoemakers on the internet. Start going to shoe shops, start sketching yourself, see it in your mind, believe it, wear it. You will see one day somebody will come to you and say, we have 5 million naira for people who want to make shoes. It sounds silly, but try it. I'll give you my phone number. When it works, just bring 10% of the money to me. That's all I know. But I'm telling you that this is true. Do not wait for money. Your God is a creator, and he created first by speaking. You speak, you believe, and believing is not by just talking. You believe, you accept it in your heart. You have to see what you are believing. Let me tell you something. Believe Lord for a wonderful husband, all that. Yeah, it may happen. You see, you have to see him. He's 5 feet 9 inches. He's dark. He has his car on that side. He walks like this. That guy will come. The power of the spirit. Some people call it the mind. But the spirit and mind, this power is unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, do not start with money as your objective for success. Money belongs to God. It is a tool. It will come to you. You will command it to you by the way you yourself act and the things that you do. So, I set up this place called Sea Garden. Everybody thought it was impossible. I crossed over, I went to Cotonou, I went on a ship for about 2 hours. We bought a manatee. Does anybody know what a manatee is? It's a sea cow. It looks like an elephant, but it walks in the water. It's bigger than this chair. I brought it back to Kenya. People are opening their mouth. How did you do it? If I tell you the things I saw on that journey, we had snakes, we had everything. It was wonderful. We saw it all. Then I decided, look, I want an entertainer to come and play here regularly to attract people here. And there was this upcoming young man then. Later he started calling himself Lagbaja. And I went and I said, look, this guy is interesting. I want to promote and develop this guy. There was no money for sponsorship. I just went to international distilleries one day. I told them who I was. I told them the idea that I had, what I was putting together. The man was very interested. Hey, you want to put this guy on you? Can you? I said, yes. I said, I've even done it already. I'm just waiting for the things to arrive. Meanwhile, nothing. But I believed it and I knew that it happened. I had no doubt in my mind that it happened. And they agreed to sponsor. And that is how Lagbaja started. And we promoted Lagbaja, and then Fridays he would come, he would play. One day, I just saw that we were having a show. There were a lot of people. There were French cameras everywhere, all of that. They were taking photographs of Lagbaja, the whole show. We finished that day. It was fantastic. The next week, I heard that Lagbaja said he's not coming again. I said, wow, those French people have signed him to some contract and they are taking him away. That is how Lagbaja became who he is today. Tell me everywhere, ask everybody. Now, the doctor was talking about something. You see, we learn from experience, and this is a continuous improvement process. You have learned something from Dr. Ajayi. I didn't born Lagbaja. I didn't sign a contract. I was just doing business. So I think you have more sense than me now. I've spoken to you, Dr. Ajayi has spoken to you. If it happens to you, it should flog you. But I did it. I did it. I was in my late 20s or something. By the way, I'm over 50 now. So you know how long ago that was. After that, But even before that, I think I was 23, Eco Hotel, or 24, they were going to sell Eco Hotel. It belonged to the Lagos State government at the time. I said, human beings are buying now, why can't I buy it? I mean, that's one thing I always believe in. I say, everybody that has achieved success in this world is born of only one mother. There's nobody that is born of two mothers, nobody. And if they can do it, why can't you and why can't I? Well, I don't think I had the strength and the faith for it at that time, but I decided, because this was about even 3 years before they sold it. Lagos State was just boundary the idea around. They had a piece of land right beside the hotel, which was lying fallow. And I noticed it, there was one water behind this land. I think that's what they call Kurama waters. So I went to a hotel, I said, look, you have this piece of land beside you here. You know, it's not lying fallow. What is it? Let me take it, let me lease it, let me develop it into some kind of center who can come and eat, this, that, and the other. I said, okay, no problem. So I went and borrowed money from a finance company. We couldn't borrow money from that. Those times there were only 4 banks: UBA, First Bank, about 4 of them. All the managers are older than the father. Their time was as big as this. Not this way where you can just go to the bank and use ATM. You can't even approach a bank manager. You can't. So we had the finance companies go and borrow money at 10% a month and all that. So we borrowed money and we started. We started very well. We did things, but at the end of the day, it failed because I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough business idea. That place today, ladies and gentlemen, is Ocean View. Had I signed a contract with the hotel, when they came, Shabuya and Shabu, they came to buy a hotel, they would have paid me so that I would leave. All I needed to do was sign a 10 or 15-year contract. I don't need to buy it. It was useless. They were not using it. They weren't using it. That is Ocean View today, where they have built all the restaurants, they have built everything, Kurama waters, etc., etc., etc. So what I'm saying is that I did this when I think I was 30, something when I did about 32 or 33. I didn't know them there. But there's something about confidence and belief in yourself that is infectious, that convinces people, that is able to change people's mind. But if you are not, remember, Bible will help me, I'm not feeling very well, so my memory is not good. Remember when, I think it was the apostles were driving out demons and everything there, and some jokers came and they approached the madman. And they said in the name of sorrow that Paul has been followed, and he beats what? Nonsense into them. That is what happens when you think you have confidence and you go, because when you don't have confidence, it will show. It will show. If your confidence is with you before you get to the door, when you open the door where you're going and you step inside, your confidence fails you, it will show. There are some senses that we have not yet been able to measure. And I can tell you that in your own lifetime, they will measure those senses. You'll be able to measure confidence on a scale that you will see the thing going up and down. There are some senses that God has given us that you cannot see, but they are real and they have force. Does anybody see love? No. Have you seen it before? No. It's not powerful. Well, have you seen anger and intense hatred? Can you see it in this guy? Let me tell you something. There are some senses, and you can begin to exercise those senses now, even before that time. 200 years ago, if they told you that somebody will pick up that iPad and do something on there and they'll get on the internet and they'll find out you send email, somebody reply, this microphone, I'll be talking. They will tell you it can never ever happen. The idea was as wild and crazy as some of the things I'm talking about now, but have no doubts in your mind. Have no doubts in your mind. So people talk about, they talk about some things negatively. I remember, again, the pastor says, go and check your own Bible too. Remember when they were about to seize Jesus? When he went for a feast and he disappeared and he appeared somewhere else again. People say, oh yeah, that's the power of Jesus Christ. Yes, that's the power of Jesus Christ. But do you know that those powers eventually, when you reach that depth of spiritual maturity, will be given to you and I? Some people don't believe it. That you'll be somewhere and then you end up somewhere else. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of spiritual development of the human being, but it will get there. So what am I saying? The ones that we can still do at this point in time, a child knows his mother. A child knows his mother's voice. Nobody trains that child. There are certain things, the affection and the bond between a mother and a child. See, a lot of people, I know somebody was adopted and say, oh, She found out later that she was adopted and she was very upset and this and that. I said, that's a question. What is it? Is it nature or is it nurture? That's the question. Is it nature that is important or nurture? We'll get to that later because we'll address that. So, anyway, I was telling you about Ocean View and what I had done and how nothing is impossible. My main company, Technoton Engineering, will be 28 years old this year. It's an engineering company. When I started that company, I started in the boys' quarters of my father's house. We started with generators and some other small things like that. And I had a vision. That we were going to go somewhere. I had one or two mechanics. I remember I had one Peugeot 504 at that time. I never forget it, OD 1442DA. It wasn't second hand, it was third hand. And I remember when I was chasing my wife at the time, when we were driving the car, we turned the corner, the water from the AC, all of it would go to one side, she has to carry her leg. But it was a lot of fun. And what I'm saying then, I had the boys' quarter, I had my 504. And sometimes I would go to Alaba Market and buy used air conditioners, bring them back to the boys' quarter, we'll fix them and we'll sell them. We used to sell air conditioners for 400 naira then. Today, we have 150 employees. The air conditioning of the city of David Church that you see there, those silver, we did it. We designed it, we did it, we put it in place. We work on the central bank, in Berlin, we work all over NFPC, we're working everywhere. We have 7 expatriates. Although some people say they're not expatriates, we have Indians. Some people say Indians are not expatriates. Somebody said that to me one day. I was talking to one, I said, okay, I expected the engineers to come and meet you. And when they say, you said your expertise are coming, these are Indians. We have alliances with companies. After believing in yourself, you must master yourself. Master yourself. This is the greatest problem. There are several aspects to you as you are sitting here. There's a physical aspect to you. There's a mental or emotional aspect to you. And there's a spiritual aspect to you. I'll start with the physical because a lot of people do not understand the importance of the physical. Sometimes we go to church and we are just, in this realm of spirituality alone. Everything is connected. Physically, the ability to be physically disciplined. Ms. Bible has done, is it a 250-day fast? I don't know what's that one. 200 many days, more than you can count. The ability to be able to deny yourself. To say, look, I can abound and I can abase. I pride myself that if I like something, I just turn my back on it. The ability to be able to physically desire the physical pleasure of whatever manifestation, whether it is for a season, until you're able to master your physical self, all the key ingredients of your success will not be there. To be able to look at some people, and I'm not getting touchy here because we all know what we do in private. Some people smoke, some people do other things, right? But one day look at that thing, I say, me, how can this thing conquer me? That's why I look at, how can you conquer me? I like chocolate a lot. But if I travel, I can buy that big bar of milk, dairy milk. I can eat it in the city. And my wife is always too dangerous, don't do it. But I go to a class, the chocolate bar, me, with all I've done, I love you, I'm not eating chocolate again. I'm not eating chocolate again. Until I really say, okay, let me do it because somebody else. And I conquered it, not because it's good or it is bad. Sometimes it's a physical, it's a training. All your life you're in training. Pick one thing and deny yourself of it today. You will be surprised. You see, it's like fasting. A lot of people, when they are fasting, they're looking spiritually, and when you are fasting, something is just going to drop from heaven, and magic will just happen because you are fasting. But people don't realize, you see, that spirit is with you. There's a word that says, I will suppress my flesh that my spirit may rise. You see, in fasting, you are suppressing your flesh that your spirit may rise, not that the spirit may come down to you, because that spirit that comes down to you is within you already. So the physical discipline that you require is going to hold your spiritual skills. It's going to let your confidence reach levels that you yourself, because when you're able to do something and deny yourself, for every success you build your confidence. Do you know that? Every success builds your confidence, no matter how small it is. So take those small physical successes and build yourself. Master yourself physically. The other one, master yourself emotionally, mentally. And with this, I want to include things like speaking. You see, a lot of you came here to ask questions today, and in my view, you have spoken yourself out of favor. You have spoken yourself out of favor. They will never take you seriously anywhere. The coach come and ask a question, you first give a speech. Come on. Master yourself. There's wisdom. For example, there's sometimes that you are so angry about something. Dr. Ajayi was talking about somebody went to see, he waited and waited. And then when he asked for the guy, they said he had gone out. I was doing the waterworks. We were doing the renovation of waterworks in Jigawa State in about 2003. I knew the governor had access to it. So I started this work, and it wasn't going well because the governor was always traveling. The administrative structure there was so poor. We wouldn't get paid, no approvals to do this or that. So when the governor was around, I'd wait to try and see him in the office. I won't see him. I'd go to the hotel and wait. Then one day, this was in Duse. Duse was the capital of Jigawa State. He said he was going on a tour. He just came in from some foreign country. He was going on a tour of some local government. I don't know anybody who's familiar with the north here. You are Lagos people. Okay, good. He was going on a tour from Duse to Kazare, Hadija, Ringing, all over the place. So I found out the itinerary and I went to their motor park. You see, this place is motor park. Where is the motor park? Where is the luxury motor park in Lagos? When you go there, you get a bus and there are goats inside and things like that. I chartered one with goats, everything inside. And I went looking for this man. Anytime I would have just left, I finally caught up with him in a place called Kazari. And I knew him very well. All I wanted was 2 minutes to say, look, Excellency, we are on this matter. The works are not progressing, we're not getting paid. And it's a problem because there was no water in the town. It was very difficult to get to him. And eventually his ADC saw me. And the ADC came to me and said, Mr. Akin, His Excellency would not like how you are following us all over the place like this. Yeah, I think you have to go back to the hotel. And now wait for us when we are ready, we'll call you. I've been there for about 4 days. If I had not mastered myself at that time, what I wanted to say is 2 things that would have happened. One of 2 things. Either the ADC would shoot me there, or the government himself would never even see me again. But when he said it, I said, okay. And I went back to my hotel and I waited. At the end, I got his audience, we completed the water works, and supplied water to that local government. What I'm saying is that you have to master yourself, you have to master your emotions. On a lighter note, I remember when I first got married, and I'm talking to you men. I'm talking to you men here. Because men are different from women. Don't believe it. All these things that we are the same, we're equal. It's not true. It's not true. We're equal, but somewhere we're very different. When I first got married, my wife either complained about something, she said this, she said that, me to tell her my own opinion, and all that, we go back and forth. I have a wonderful wife, a wonderful marriage. Blessed with 4 wonderful children. But you go back and go for it. Now, we went somewhere recently, and I think my wife said, when we got inside, I was talking to some people and she was standing and she was taking her to go and sit down first. Which is true. When we sit down there, people who are here. When I first go and drop you there, I come back to people. But she went on and on and on. I said, okay. Baby, sorry. Abi, is there anything more than sorry? And I said, sorry. When I should tell her, she couldn't say anything again. You have to master your emotion. Don't speak out of turn. Be brief when you speak. Master your anger. Even when you're excited. If I'm doing a transaction with you right now and I come and I say, okay, how much am I going to pay? Maybe I thought I was going to pay 500 naira. That's what I planned. And you said, okay, my price is 250, which is half of what I plan to pay. My first reaction, that's a bit high. We're going to have to talk about that. Never betray emotion. Master yourself in any way. So that is the second point. The ability to master yourself. Delay is not denial. That's one of my favorite words. The next thing, and I want us to take us back, so we are tying everything together now. What does it take to be successful is what we're talking about. Believe in yourself. We've talk about mastering yourself. We're now talking about developing yourself, which is what Dr. Ajayi again spoke about. You see, there's a common thread between all these things. You know, Dr. Ajayi realized at some point that he had to go to Harvard Business School. He had to do this, he had to do that. He had to read on this and read on that. The problem with a lot of people your age, a lot of people, you don't read. You don't read. You don't learn new things. Even your vocabulary is getting, killed because I have some young nephews. If they send you a message, you have to go to school to learn what they are saying. Everything is an abbreviation, a face, a smile, a hand, and they are complicated. You can't understand what they're saying. The truth is that in the real world of business, you can't communicate like that. I've interviewed people and I say, okay, what were you doing in the last something and stuff like that. Develop yourself. It is important. The Bible tells you study and show thyself approved. They're not really just talking about the Bible. Learning is a continuous thing. If you engage me on any subject at my age now, when Dr. Ajayi was talking about embryology, I can discuss it with him. Of course, we take more than me, but I can, as they say, I can hang. You know what I'm saying? When you discuss, I read about Chinese history, the empires. Most of you don't know the history of Nigeria. You don't know the two protectorates. You don't know the colonial masters, who they were, where they came from. You don't know about the Sultan in the north that said I would die with a slave in my mouth. And the British now sent an expedition of conquer. I'm telling you this thing, I want to go and read. Complain from now to tomorrow morning about Nigeria that you don't know anything about your country. My own children, they are better traveled in Europe than they are in Yoruba land. It's a disgrace for all of us. But what am I saying? You have to read, you have to study, you have to develop yourself. You are going to be an entrepreneur. Master your subject matter, master other things. The ability to be able to make conversation will get you in many places. You meet somebody and you want to discuss business with him. Don't go straight into the business. That's how I like your suit. It's a very, very nice suit. It reminds me of a suit that I saw somewhere on Canal Road. I think that this is what they call triple stitching. And he looks up at you. This man knows a few things. And you begin to engage. So if it is one topic that you want to master that has nothing to do with your goal, but something that's a conversation piece, even that is good. But let me tell you some stories about mastering yourself, developing yourself. I once ran a business. If I had time to talk for the whole day, you will hear I once ran a business about 20 times. And most of them failed hopefully. But those are the ones I learned from most. I had seen an opportunity, this Okoba Abattoir, especially when I'm traveling either out of the country or to Abuja in the daytime, you fly over, you can see all the cows, everything. I said, look, there's a big opportunity here. This place is so dirty. I went and did my research. They are killing something like 2,600 cows a day there for Lagos. And I said, look, there's a way I can do this and do this in a way that makes more sense. So I registered the company and set up a small slaughtering plant in Ogba. I knew a few things. The source of the animals. I knew that there was a market, and I knew that the technology itself for killing a cow, dividing it, was not that complicated. And so I started. We put up a facility that could slaughter 4 cows a day. And somebody had told me, people from Okoba, they won't come and buy from you, it's a cartel. I said, don't worry, they will buy, and I have another plan. So I went to UAC and Leventis to make gala. I applied so I can be supplying them meat for gala. And give me ideas that there are many things you can do, many. But we'll talk about that later. So I got those contracts, so we start at 6 a.m. in the morning. Kill the cows, we weigh them, we do this, we do that, we separate the meat, send in vehicles to UAC and all that, etc. A few things I didn't know. The shrinkage, what they call shrinkage in meat. When they bring the cow to you and they weigh it, yes, you deduct some amount, but once you kill it and you expose the meat for a while, the shrinkage begins to set in. The moisture begins to leave. By the time you even weigh it, you get it to UAC and they do the first weighing. If the person that doesn't answer you quickly, before they do the second confirmatory weighing, it has shrunk a bit again. So and they too, they will know. I didn't know that they have to settle because they weigh you quickly. They are just looking like a Johnny just gone. The thing will be there. By the time they weigh it, the weights that I left my factory and the weights that they gave me are two different things entirely. Because I didn't study this thing. And I didn't engage people who knew. Because studying is not about just reading. You You can engage mentors. You can talk to people who know. And then of course, you all know that apart from the meat of the cow, he has a head. And he has skin. He has offer. They don't use that in Ghana at that time. So the idea is that we'll have it, we'll sell it cheap, so that people go to Okoba, we have our own, and it's cheaper, you can just buy it, all that kind of stuff. So we finish killing the cow, and we have gone to Okoba. And all people who are supposed to buy this thing, we see them at a gate. I say, one day, sorry, does everybody here speak Yoruba? Okay, if you don't tell me, I'll translate. One day, aren't you communists? They say they're waiting for somebody. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You have about 20 people who meet sellers and people who have good cars, they're all sitting outside your fence. And nobody's coming in. By 4 o'clock, you have the head of this thing, they start decomposing very soon. Even the skin is starting to look more kind. And then you don't have enough storage to keep 40 heads of the cow and 40 skin and 40 of her. And you now know if you don't do something quickly, this thing is going to spoil. At 4:40, that's when they'll come. Yeah, what's it woman? And you want to say, oh wow. So don't maybe it's not 2,000 and 500. For those of you who understand that, they have waited you out. They knew you need to sell. They knew you cannot refrigerate because I never thought of the refrigerator capacity that I needed. I just thought of the processing of the animal and sending to that. I didn't think that I may have to keep stock overnight for 2 nights, for 3 nights. So those guys, they wait you out and they are there early so that they will be the first at 4:35 to come in. And they buy your produce for 1/10 of the price that you intended to sell it. Needless to say, the business went bankrupt. But I'm now engaging on a very large project that has that as one of its constituents. And you know what? When I'm talking to the South African people, we are discussing, and I'll tell them about the yield and moisture content and the weight of the bone. They look at actually, you are an engineer. I say, if you know where I got all this one and why I have to learn. So these are things that you realize. And I'll give you the last one. I once started a business for the last time. The plantain chips revolution that you see today, everywhere, everybody's selling plantain chips. I want to tell you for a fact, and I have no doubt in my mind that I started that. I'm talking to you about some monumental failure so that you will learn. I looked at again the market. I said in Lagos, the last population there are 15 million people. If there are 7 people in a family, divided by 50 million, there are 2 million families. If I capture just 5% of the market, that's 100,000 families. If everybody eats 2 plantain chips a month, I done the calculation. So the market was there. I'm from Ondo State. And I know that plantain exists abundantly. So we didn't want to do what we were doing. We went and we did all the research. And I registered the first NAFDAC registered plantain chips in this country. The brand name was Plantitos. By the way, it's coming back. Watch out. Yeah, it's coming back big time. I registered it. First one with NAFDAC. We were exporting to Guinea. On Virgin Nigeria, it was the plantain chips of choice. I had it on 3 airlines. The packaging was beautiful. Like you see all these workers' strips, that's how it looked. The oil that we used a special oil because the oil that they use for plantain chips normally, if you keep it for too long, it goes rancid. It's actually dangerous. It goes rancid. And we could keep for 4 months and nothing will happen to it. Therefore, we would export. You understand? It wouldn't crush the packaging. We introduced nitrogen inside. So we know those things that are puffed up. You can't just crush it because it has air inside. So we started. We would order plantain from the hinterland. We had trailer loads. We had 100 people peeling plantain. That's the size of the operation. Every day, they sat in a hall like this. Their job was to peel plantain because there is no machine to peel plantain. Potatoes, you peel by abrasive peeling. I've done that also. You put that in the machine and abrasion, it peels. You cannot peel a plantain by abrasion. The skin is too thick and it's inconsistent. It is manual. So 100 people will see peeling from day to night. Trailers will come and bring plantain. The volumes were large. Some days we'll be waiting for plantain. It has not come, it has not come. What happened? We'll now find out that as the trailer was coming, somebody told them that, I told you earlier that the price of plantain has increased. It has increased. They'll just take it there and sell it and make more money rather than bringing it to us that was a fixed price. Right, when people are sitting down, they must be paid no matter what happens. That will go on time and time. They'll say, okay, you know what? We'll be buying and stocking and keeping stock. But you see, when we are keeping stock, it was wrong. There's a chemical element in the plantain skin that when it's exposed to heat, it causes the plantain to ripen. We all know that. So you put it there, and then before you come back, the thing is ripe, you cannot use it for plantain chips again. Ha, they say. On and on and on and on. But I tell you now, this is why I'm going back into it, is that I'm an expert on plantain chips now. I'm an expert. We are not processing here in Lagos. We do some other area. We are processing in the bush where the plantain is. So we can't take it to the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, we have talked about a lot of stuff. We've talked about a lot of stuff, and I'm going to round up now. I want to leave you with this. And let's summarize. We have determined what the core of continuous improvement is. Success. We have determined that success will change from phase to phase in your life. We have determined that you are the judge of that success. We have gone on further to say, what do you need to be successful? And we have said, first of all, the ability to believe in yourself. Convincingly. You know, you cannot fool yourself, you can fool everybody else. Believe in yourself. The next thing is to master yourself. And finally, is to develop yourself. If you've listened and you have imbibed, I have no doubt in my mind that sooner or later, I'll see you at the top. Thank you very much.
Was the best for the last?
Yes.
Was the best for the last?
Oh, yes.
Any questions? We're going to take only 4. We're taking only 4. So come out. The first 4 people to come out. The first 4 people to come out. And you know you heard him. Don't come and first of all say thank you.
You give a speech, I'll send you
story. Just ask the question if you have a question. Come. We're going to take 4. Okay?
In having a can-do attitude, should there be limitations? The reason why I'm asking this is a follow-up question. You said you can do everything, like I can do all things to Christ that strengthens me. But is there no place for God's will, seeking God's face to determine should I embark on this at first? Having a can-do attitude. Okay?
That's a very, very good question. That's a very good question. Certainly there is. But you see, if you know that it is by which that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. If you know that things like I will always go before you, I'll never tell you, I'll never leave the person, you realize what I've been trying to tell people, what I tell people all the time. God is not this magnificent thing that this is my will. Go this way. You have a will. Bring your will and say, look, align your plans with the purpose of God. But let them still be your own plans. God desires to bring your own plans to fruition. A lot of people I'm seeing, they can see the face of God for, in heaven, they said around the throne of God, they are just bowing down, they say glory, glory. They say glory, glory. More faces show every day. They've been saying glory for 1 million years, and you want to see that face in one day? God wants you to be happy. No, this is serious. And God, whatever you want, they will never say whatever you desire when you pray. Not like you believe you receive it. There is a space for your will. But make sure that the things that you desire are within God's will. God's will is clearly stated in the Bible. Solomon was rich, this one was a prophet. They are various people from various walks of life, and they are all blessed by God. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Next.
Praise the Lord.
Once again. Next person. That's one like this. You have one chance. They say you have only one chance to make a first impression. And I want you to do with that. You have one chance to make a first impression. You have made your own. But I God forgives.
Sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question and a suggestion.
Go ahead. Yes.
Actually, I want to ask a question, sir. Anytime you fail in business, how do you rebound? And what is your motivation? And also, what leverage do you have that each time you fail, you could go back to another side of business? What's the leverage?
Okay, that's it. Now, I can tell you something. You are looking at Mr. Failure here. If I've done 20 things in my life, only 5 have been successful. How do you rebound? You see, and that's why before I started going to the meat of my soul, I said the pussycats should go home. Life is not a bed of roses. Once you have that foundational belief in yourself, you have that foundational belief in yourself, you will always rebound. It's a man without vision. Once you have vision, you have seen it in your eye, that vision constantly stays in front of you. It constantly stays in front of you. Look at all the great people in the Bible. Look at the persecution that they went through. You know, some people say that Jesus Christ is not resurrected, right? There's some argument about it. I've left the spiritual realm on that argument. I've come down to the physical. Let's forget that I'm a Christian and I believe it. Let's look at the evidence. They said they have just killed somebody, your guy, who you thought was a big man. That was Jesus. They just killed him, flogged him, put a knee on his back, nailed him to the cross and killed him. Is it possible that if the apostles did not see Jesus, that they will continue doing what they are doing? Are you mad? Who? Tell me something. If all have spoken to you now, idea, courage, and you heard that one day I had one small business problem and I just quenched on the way, will you feel inspired? This is what I'm telling you. See, they caught a vision. You must catch your own vision. You must see it, you must believe it, you must internalize it. That's the only thing for success, because failure is almost inevitable at some point of the way.
Knowing the place of confidence and knowing the place of failure and knowing the places of the place mentors play in one's life. What do you do in a situation whereby you run a business of your own, knowing that success is the objective behind your mind when you start this business? So far, you can say you know the subject matter very well that you are engaged in, and beyond a reasonable doubt, you know it's up to like 99.9%, and you've been engaged in it for a couple of years. Now you kept in so much money, you've kept in resources, but people keep downplaying it that, can you give it to us below par? You know, what do you do? And yet, you know, you said something about you don't have to be angry, you know, people wait you out, you know.
You don't have to be angry. We all come to life. Life is a market. Is there anybody who buys something more expensive than they can get it? Very few. You know, so you have a business. What you need to do, madam, is something I was not able to touch on here. You have to rethink your business strategy. Obviously, you're in a market where there are many, many other options, and they are possibly giving them at that price. So you need to go and look at A, is your product itself, is it that special? B, are you even talking to the wrong people? Do you need to make some adjustments here and there? I'll tell you, some people, I'm in the air conditioner business. Some people have started making air conditioners now with mosquito repellent. You know, just be able to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know what you do, but I'll be happy to talk to you. I just give you some news and say, well, maybe there's a way you should do it differently, or approach a different market. Or maybe you should also change your business. We have said about success and where you're going, it changes with every phase of life. 10 years ago, people used to develop photographs. Oh my God, they were making money. Now you do it yourself. That business has died. I don't know, travel agents, they are struggling to make money. They have to give you a special service. You book your flight to Abuja on the internet, you pay with your GTP. Go. Man. So businesses evolve. You have to be able to evolve with it. Yes, sir. So I can hear you.
Having been in different fields of business, have you mastered any skills in particular that has made you function well or averagely in your field of business?
Thank you very much. Yes, I have. First of all, I've mastered the art of speaking to convince. Because I've had to convince people, you know, especially when they say, you did this one, you did one. They want to do this one again, but people always support. So you master the art of persuasion. That's what I've mastered. I've also mastered the art of using people to get what you want. For example, now if I say I want to go and run a nuclear plant, you know, I know nothing about it. I will look for the best nuclear scientists. say what is the objective, what do they want, and make sure I'm able to give them what satisfies them also. And it's not always monetary. It's not always, it may be recognition to make them stay there. So what I've learned more than anything else is anything you're in, know that all the stakeholders, all the participants, they have an objective. Your houseboy that came to work in your house, he came for a purpose. The minute you understand the purpose why he came, and you're able to fulfill that purpose, you will see loyalty. That's one thing that I've seen. But it's very important to be able to speak to people with a straight chest, a clear voice, confidence in your eye, and convince them of what you want. And you get someone. I think that's what I'm doing. Okay.